it's all right. We're going to be a little informal here for a second. Why everybody?
As an intro, definitely welcome you guys out in Las Vegas. As Vern said, my name is Tim Lankford, and um, appreciate you guys diving into the mortgage protection field. Now there is so many people out there that are screaming for help, and there's just a lot of us dumb agents who we try to go and complicate things a whole lot more than what we need to. And this little webinar I've put together for you guys really more focuses in on the in-home. I want to give you a little bit of the um, idea of how to run an in-home appointment more than anything else. This will give you a few pointers of easy transitions and to be able to go in and show you how to be able to get a person's mortgage protected and be able to go right from there into talking about after they're protected, IUL business and annuities, whether they have a single premium whole life, whatever would be the most appropriate product that you could start talking about. Wow, guys, this is incredible to be able to have these type of sales and just grow every part of your business. And that's what the mortgage protection business does. And me being the smart aleck that I am, I'm going to talk about the true American wet dream. Sorry for the crudeness there, but right there it is. For me, it is blood, sweat, and tears. It's willing to get down there and not just be a transactional life insurance agent. This is not what I call a financial transaction. This is something that you get kneecap to kneecap, eyeball to eyeball with a homeowner or somebody who's refinanced a home or got a second mortgage, and they've said in a response letter back to us, please help me. And then you're willing to bleed with them, to cry with them, to be able to work hard to get them protected without just throwing a nurse at them and saying, hey, give this nurse some of your blood, pee in this bucket, and let's see how healthy you are before we ever give you protection. That's, in my opinion, the worst way to get a mortgage protected. Just some real basic, we'll probably just cover just a couple of these items, but in another time, I probably want to just focus in on pace and give you a little bit of an idea of what I did last year. I ran 45 Saturdays last year, so one day a week. Typically, like I did last night with you guys, I'm on the phone setting appointments for my Saturday. I wrote over 225 applications last year by writing or by helping folks 45 days, a whole 45 days, so a month and a half, and on what I would consider a rookie contract level, we typically will start anywhere from 25, 35, 40, 50%. On a 50% contract level, if I were on a 50% contract level, I would have made $60,000 last year. I made quite a bit more than that, but on a 45-day venture, most people would say, yeah, I can hold my breath for 45 days if you can show me a way to make $60,000. So what I suggest your pace is being to be able to go into showing 10 appointments a week is all that I'm suggesting you to say on a minimum basis of what you can do. You do this little algebraic equation, if you want to call it that, and through this equation, you grow with helping other people. Vern will move you up the levels chart of increasing your contract level by the more people you go out and protect. And so I'm just going to show on a 10 appointments per week, showing having no-shows of 2 no-shows, of sitting with 8 families, helping 5 people. You get into a place where in a very quick time, you can be making over $100,000. Not getting into too much product with this demonstration or with our webinar here, but to be able to talk about making sure you keep the blinders off when you're sitting in an appointment to talk about the accidental, the term, and the perm. A couple of our key carriers there, lead providers, getting right into your appointment. Keep the response form always in front of you. I'm going to give you about a 10-minute diatribe real quick of being able to move straight from parking in front of a client's house to sitting at their table. How I do it. When I've set the appointment, which goes out no longer than 48 hours, I always say, give me 10 or 15 minutes and I'll give you the information in your hands that you requested. Period. That's all I do to set that appointment. So when I drive up to the home, I never park in the driveway just out of courtesy. I want to try to build that rapport immediately. As soon as I step out of the door, I'm looking at the windows and I'm waving. Over my 23 years in this business, 7 years in the mortgage protection field, I've had several clients say, if you didn't see us in the window, we wouldn't have answered the door. I never saw anybody. I just have got the habit of waving and trying to help my no-show rate. I have less than what ends up being about a 5% no-show rate. If you've got more than a 1 out of 10, so if you've got a 10% or greater no-show rate, you're not following my phone scripts, you're not following how to lock down that appointment, and you're not following these steps that I'm outlining for you right now. So after I've waved and I've brought my take my notebook in, and all I have is 2 Phoenix applications for term, 2 Phoenix applications for term express, 2 Mutual of Omaha Living Promise. And I've got Vern. Yes, sir.
Hey, we lost you, so we had to recall, dial in.
Oh, bummer. Okay. Where did we?
We missed a slide.
Let's see. If we're going to get to the appointments, this is probably the most important appointment. I can send you the PowerPoint, and you can see what's appropriate for your agents. But we probably want to just focus right here on this slide here. Then.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. But our other phone is muted.
Let's see.
No.
Okay. Do you hear?
Now we can hear you.
Oh, perfect.
We can talk.
Okay, perfect. Well, then, now, did you catch anything as far as what I was talking about after I've set up the appointment? I've done it within 48 hours.
Yeah, we got that from before.
Okay, and wave as soon as I park in front of the house, because I don't want to park in the driveway. You may have a brand new car, but don't let it leak on their driveway. So
yeah, so don't park in front of their driveway. If
so
you can start this slide, I guess. What was the previous slide? Go back one.
I'm just talking about the leads and the lead companies that we suggest and offer.
Okay.
And then yeah, so I'm walking up to that door, knocking on that door about 3 steps away. I don't want them to feel like I'm trying to put the proverbial foot in the door. So I'm about 3 steps away. When they answer the door, I'm not looking at them. I'm turned away by about 30%, looking at some gutter or something down the wall so that they see me and they say, oh, this guy is approachable. I'm dressed as a friend would come over to the house. Maybe just one little level up. I never wear a tie. I never wear a suit. I'm not in there as an insurance man. I can't emphasize that enough. I want to be their friend coming over, but I may slip on a sport jacket depending on the weather, or I'll have slacks on. A lot of times I'm in very nice jeans and a sweater. I want to be approachable and professional, but I certainly don't want them to tie me back to that insurance guy.
Okay. So if you're going to wear jeans, but wear dress shoes, don't wear tennis shoes.
Absolutely. Yeah, clean it up a little bit. So just take it to that next level. You know, if you're going to wear just a pull over short sleeve, don't make it any sort of advertisement on it other than that, it might have, Mutual Omaha or Foresters or Phoenix on it.
We have a senior health group shirts. Wear those or no logo at all.
No logo at all, because I don't want them tying you to something health. I want them seeing you as just a protection specialist. They start asking you about health and why are you there, talking to them about their mortgage protection. We don't want to go down that road.
What about slacks, button-up shirt, no tie?
Absolutely. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Just be approachable. Somebody that you're going to go over next door to your friend, you know, making it that professional approach, but yet cutting yourself away from, which it sounds like you guys have done in the senior side of the business. You're still not going in with that proverbial tie or coat. If you're going in with just your senior health, that's the approach we're looking for. Be user friendly without that creepy insurance feel, because I don't want them to see you as the insurance man. You are a mortgage protection specialist, and you're going in there armed and equipped with everything you need in a notebook, not carrying a briefcase. You're not there to sit down and talk to them about their financial portfolio.
So no briefcase.
No briefcase, never a briefcase. That's a dead giveaway. Yeah,
Legal pad?
I've got my little leather, really, it's a glorified notebook, but I've got 2 applications from Phoenix in there for term, for express, 2 applications for Living Promise Mutual of Omaha, 2 for accidentals, and 2 children's applications. That's it. And I've got a folder that I've got brochures from Phoenix and Mutual of Omaha on all of their products and the life insurance buyer's guide, and I'm done. I don't need anything else. Phoenix has a wonderful brochure that talks about their living benefits that nobody else in the market has on simplified issue. So you want to make sure that you have those brochures with you. You can call Phoenix, I think, for about the next 40 minutes and get that brochure.
Tim, could you give us that, unless you want to send us an email, could you give us that list of what you carry with you?
Sure,
right
no,
now?
real quick. Yeah, real easy. 2 Phoenix Express applications, because I'm sitting with mom and dad. I'm always prepared for 2. 2 Phoenix regular term applications. And I just go with the Living Promise or the final expense with Mutual, but you can use the 2 Phoenix Remembrance. But you need 2 final expense applications just in case they don't qualify for the term.
Okay.
I take 2 Mutual of Omaha accidental applications so that I can, and they're guaranteed issue. So if I'm not coming out of that home with a term, either because it's too expensive or they can't qualify for it, everybody age 69 and 364 days and younger qualifies for Mutual of Omaha accidental. And then I have 2 Mutual of Omaha children's applications. You can put actually 3 children on each application. I just like individual applications for each child.
Okay.
That's it. I don't need anything else. I'll typically, sometimes I'll have a Gerber guaranteed issue application in there, but most persons today, unless they've just had a recent heart attack or stroke within the last, or cancer within the last 2 years, or they've been diagnosed with an incurable disease, they will be able to qualify for at least a graded benefit with final expense. That's better than going with Gerber guaranteed issue. But I've got those applications usually just in the trunk of my car. But the rare chance, I think of all of my appointments last year, I probably wrote 5 Gerber guaranteed issues. So they're just not that prevalent. And by the way, every Tuesday when I do my webinar at 11 a.m., I've got Eastern time, I've got Gerber coming on this next Tuesday to help us, make sure that we get everybody insured, even what what other people call uninsurables. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay, moving, and so I immediately want to gain rapport. So in my 6 steps to the sale, I immediately go to my bond and rapport, and how I do that is right here when I'm before I get to saying, hey, why did you fill this out? At the door, I'm bowing down, going down to unlace my shoes. If you got slip-ons, looks kind of goofy, so don't do that. But I always wear lace-ups, whether it would be a, a dress shoe or a, I've got a nice pair of casuals that I'll also wear, but I make sure they're laced. So I bow down. I want everything to say, hey, I'm humble. I'm here to help you. And I don't want to take my shoes off. 90% of the time, the client says, oh, don't worry about that. If it's the husband, I'll look at him and say, hey, don't get me in trouble with your wife. Before I even meet her, no, don't worry about it. You're fine. And so I'm looking for the table. However, I don't have to sit at the table. That's where every insurance guy wants to go. I want to go where they feel most comfortable, but I will still come back and say it would be easier for us at the table if we can sit at the table. Definitely a lot easier. My wife just texted me that IU lost to Illinois and Purdue slapped Illinois. So we're doing good. I'm sorry, I digress. We're in the Big Ten tournament. Remember, this is basketball country. So hopefully I'm sitting at the table. I'm as goofy as to say I still want to be as a male. I want to be sitting closer to the male. Just that dynamic. I don't need him thinking, why is he sitting so close to my wife? And I go right there, number 3. Okay, guys, why did you fill it out? I don't need to talk about, oh, what a beautiful home. Oh, I'm not trying to do the fake crap is what I call it when you look at the pictures and, oh, what beautiful pictures. Oh, gorgeous children. If I can do something sincere, I love, wow, I noticed that you're that much into the 500. I've been in Indianapolis, or you're that much into basketball. So if I've got something that I can sincerely, without sounding, I can't emphasize it enough, without sounding like the proverbial insurance guy or gal, keep it real. This is Mr. and Mrs. America. Keep it real. But I want to go right there. I'm not mincing words. I'm not there for fluff. I'm there for business. I'm a friend who is fearing that they're going to die tomorrow. So you keep that mindset. I talk about mindset quite a bit when in my in-home appointment, and I'm looking straight up at them. I'm smiling, being user-friendly, but I'm there for business. And I'm going right to, so tell me who is the wise person who filled this out, and I'll do it with a smile, trying to be a little bit sarcastic, kind of again user friendly. Who did the smart move and filled this out? Looks like really neat handwriting, although it may look sloppy, and I'm pretty sure the guy did it, but it looks like really neat handwriting. You didn't do that, did you, John? Oh yeah, I filled it out. Well, give me your thoughts of what made you fill it out, and if they blow it off, don't let them, oh, I'm just looking for some pricing. Get down, and this is I'll say 2 of the most crucials is your transition for the upfront close and right here to find out why they filled it out. I am looking for tears. I'll let you guys know it straight up. I'm looking for the wife and sometimes the husband to kind of tear up of saying what life would be like without their wife / husband / whomever in their life, because I'll say the majority part of the time is a married couple and they're doing it for the spouse. So and sometimes the single is just because they don't want to leave the burden of a mortgage to a family if it's a single, or they have children. So most of the time it's going to be a husband and wife scenario. And I want that. If you don't get to the emotion here, guys, you're wasting your time. If you turn this into a transactional sale, it's not going to work. I went 0 for 9 my first 9, and this was after being in professional, commercial, industrial sales. That I went down and I would insure the entire building and take care of every piece of a mechanical device in that building. Something ever happened to it, my company was on the line, but it was with CEOs and business owners and business managers. That was my mindset when I went and saw this lead, and I went, seriously? Is that what this lead is? Let me see if I can pull up a copy of the lead. Check this out, guys. This is the lead. We're mailing it out to the homeowner. They are sending it back with basic information. This is one that we typically use out west a little bit. Sometimes we'll use the one that just has, give us your name, of date of birth, the phone number, maybe what time to call. That's all they need to send to us, and their signature on it. This one goes a little bit more into the male, female, and I guess that's about it. On some of these, we'll ask for a are you a smoker? What's your height? What's your weight? And but this is pretty basic. What a person will say, yes, I'm interested in these items here: death, disability, chronic or critical illnesses. I'm interested in it not increasing. What about a money back guarantee? These are the folks who are sending this in, and that's why we come back and we want to focus in on those reasons. If they don't offer you why they filled it out, then you real quickly say, it's most of the time it's for folks who are looking to pay off their home in case you die. Is that why you filled it out, John? That widow, and I love that. When I'm sitting with a widow, I've never had one, and I've delivered 5 death certificates, or excuse me, 5 death policies. I've helped folks. I'm right in the middle of another one, 84-year-old who lost her 86-year-old husband after 62 years. And but I've never met a widow who has regretted having or have said, I've got too much coverage. I dig from there right into the fact finder. Talked about making sure that you've got your calculators on your phone. Be ready for offering a price after we've gone through the fact finder. So I've done my bonding report up front. I found the pain. Right after the pain, within 15 minutes of my in-home form, let me pull that up real quick for you guys. You know what, if you haven't done this already, go ahead and go to, let's do this real quick. www.gordonmarketing.com. Click on part where it says agents right here on Life Mortgage Protection Selling System. Here you'll be able to have some terrific, not because of me, but terrific testimonials of folks who have just been making it happen in this business, and some videos. But you can see here the ELF form, the script, without going into it this time. Go to the quote request. This is what I use every time I sit down with somebody. Within 15 minutes, I've got their mortgage amount, all this top information. Do they have any insurance that they own? Make a distinction between that and work insurance. What else do you have income-wise? You're a smoker or non-smoker? What else do you have income-wise that would be able to pay off this mortgage? After finding out how much they make, where they work at. What about retirement monies that you may have left at a previous job? I just did a $100,000 annuity 2 weeks ago because of this in-home fact finder. Jennifer, who was on my call today at 11 a.m., just wrote a $92,000 annuity this week because of a fact finder. Anyhow, within 15 minutes, I've already done my bond report. Right here's where's I'm doing my upfront close. John, Debbie, I've already exhausted my 15 minutes that I promised you that I'd get this information in your hands. I have enough information to see why you have filled out this lead request form. Only with your permission, and I do this and I mean this sincerely, I will, because I'm a man of integrity, I'm done at 15 minutes just like I promised you. As you can see, the rest of this form will take me about another 10 or 15 minutes. And the back of this, we're not going to fill out all of this. I'm going to give you one price for an accidental mortgage protection coverage and one price for what I call a full value. So this will take another 10 or 15 minutes. Do I have your permission to continue? I never had one person last year of all the persons I've sat with say no, because I took my due diligence before I got to that point. Anyhow, I move right from there to my upfront close. You remember going back to the 6 steps, go to my upfront close. We go After they've given me their permission to move forward, I let them know, John and Debbie, I feel very, very honored to be able to share with you that I have an unlimited, unrestricted license from the state of Nevada that gives me permission to be able to talk to you about protecting your mortgage. Build it up. Yes, you have a life and health license. That's unlimited, guys. You can write $100 million life insurance. So that's unlimited and unrestricted. This is a little bit of theater, but guys, it works. So the upfront close is right there within 15 minutes. You don't get that close there, you're wasting your time. So that was the other second point that I needed to emphasize to you. You're wasting your time if you go beyond this point and you don't say, I'm honored to be able to say I've got an unlimited, unrestricted license from the state of Nevada. When we finish over the next few minutes and I find a price that you agree with, that this is the price that makes sense for your budget, this coverage will be in place today. Most of my clients want to hug me and jump on me and kiss me, but I'm not asking you for that. But I want to ask you, how does that make you feel? Right there, they'll tell you, we never do anything the first time. We're here just getting a price. We're going to have to think about it. Most of the time, they smile because the way I've presented it, and they say, that sounds good. It's over now, guys. Now all you have to do is find the price. If you don't do it there, you've wasted your time and theirs. The fulfillment is simply going through. I'm going to get back to more of the history because I want to find out evers. Have you ever been on any prescriptions? Have you ever had a diagnosis of heart, stroke, TIAs, diabetes? I want to find out evers. And again, if you don't do your due diligence in this fulfillment before you even present a solution, you're wasting your time. Because I had an agent, I think I was sharing with you guys yesterday, or may have been just here, that I had an agent come up to me during the Life and Annuity University, said, we've submitted $20,000, only $11,000 has been placed, 9,000 got declined, Tim. And I looked at that agent and I said the following, and I've got a church background, so this was everything that I could do, and I called this cussing, is I looked at him and I said, you suck. Straight up, because it wasn't Phoenix's fault that you gave them crap business. Guys, even though Phoenix is the absolute most liberal carrier out there with the most client-friendly underwriting, they still have requirements. If you have anything with heart issues, they're not going to approve it. If they've had, I'm sorry, go ahead.
We talked to Doug, don't kind of remember his last name, from Missouri, St. Louis. Yeah, well, St. Louis, Missouri. And he's just been on it for the last couple months. Since September, but he said that he has had about 50% denial rate from, is that, would you imagine, because he's not doing his, you call it fulfillment, but I would call it
fact-finding.
Screening, fact-finding.
I didn't want to say his name, Vern. It's Doug Boyd, who lives in Missouri, but that's the agent I'm talking about. Because when he came up to me, I went, you suck.
I would have told you, because I think I like him as a person. I want his help.
Absolutely.
But we don't want to make his mistakes either.
Good point.
And is that what you think his problem is?
Oh, 100%. And of that $9,000 that got declined, over half of it, like 5,200, came from 2 applications. And from the 2 applications, he said he was so proud of his agent. His agent got in there, out of there in 45 minutes with 2 applications. I'm sorry, guys, but if you're sitting down, and they were both over 60 years old, so ding, 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 somebody's over 50 years old, you got to immediately start to be concerned about their health. There's not very many 50-year-olds out here who aren't on prescriptions or who haven't had some sort of health event. They're in their 60s, and Dale, bless his heart, penciled through the application, and now to come to find out, both of them have had heart issues. You don't get in a home and out in 45 minutes with 2 applications if you've done your job. Not a
How long,
chance.
how long is a typical appointment for you? Not the typical agent, for you.
One application in a home, about 50 minutes. So I'm right there, about that 45, 50 minutes for one application. When you put a second person in there, and again, it's going to be a little bit different if you get buy-ins and they have no health issues and they're all of a sudden, wow, this is great. This makes sense. But generally speaking, I allow 2 hours in between appointments. So I'm setting 8, 10, 12, 2, 4, 6, 8 on a Saturday. I'm trying to run 7 appointments on a Saturday, and I'm pretty efficient at this, guys. So I'm still good with you setting, especially since you're going to get maybe more no's up front, and so I'm still good at minimally setting every 2 hours. And if you feel a little bit wishy-washy with one appointment, you should put another one in there right in that same 8 to 10. I still like, half an hour on either side of my appointment. But if they give me a little bit of feeling of, I don't like that one, then I'm going to set another appointment right behind them. And I'm going to make it between, if that one was set at 8 a.m., my next one that I'm going to put behind them is between 8 and 10. So that if they are there and it's a good legitimate appointment, I'm there at 8 a.m. and I'm pushing to try to get to my other one before 10 a.m., knowing that I've got another 10 a.m. set up. But again, you're going to be a little bit newer in the beginning. I'll give you some breaks, but yeah, minimally you're looking at hour 15, hour 20, hour 30 minutes to do your due diligence, feeling through the application and doing a good job.
Okay, one quick question. Why didn't Doug go back and try to sell him a final expense or a guaranteed issue?
Well, he would have told you that that's what he was doing if he would have talked to you after he talked to me. Because absolutely, yeah, he's going back, and I said it's not over, Doug. Now go back and have Dell, and you probably should be with them, and call them on the phone and let them know, hey, I needed to go over a couple more things. So you're not going over telling them that, hey, you've been declined. I need to come out and try to sell you something else. All you're doing is, hey, I missed a couple things to go over with you. How's it look for tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock? And when you're sitting with that client, you tell them, I screwed up. So you blame yourself. Hey, I screwed up because I did not do my job and ask you as thoroughly as I needed to about some of your health history. And home office has come back and they've not approved our initial questionnaire. Guys, this is being recorded. You can go back to this, but that's exactly how you can salvage your deals that don't get approved. Because as long as they haven't had a heart issue within the last 2 years, you bet there is over a $200 monthly premium that sure, you may have to go from a $100,000 term to justify a $35,000 final expense, but even that can be in your client's favor. You know what? After thinking about this some more, you guys are 60 years old. You make it to 60, you have a real good chance to making it to 90. This 10 or 15 or 20-year plan, I'm going to suggest you to go and do something with a little bit more teeth on it. Make your money work harder for you. Let's lessen the amount, but more importantly, get you in a product that can get you approved and it lasts for the rest of your life. How does that sound, Mr. and Mrs. Client? So that's where you want to go with this, not, there's no reason to give up on that just because you've got it declined, but find out. Sometimes the underwriters will give you a little bit of a hint of why that person's been declined, but you now have to go back and do a better job with your client to let them tell you why they would have been declined.
All right.
Make sense?
Any questions? No, come back to it. I gotta get to 2 o'clock. Okay.
Confirm right there after you presented the solution. So really you're flipping over the back page and going to, I give them one price of 75% of the mortgage for an accidental, one price for 75% of what I call full value. So why I do that is I want multiple applications in a home. Things get tough. What are they going to cancel? They're going to look at a $75 or $100 term policy per month, or a $15 or $20 accidental policy per month. If they're going to cancel something, I want them to just cancel one item. So they're going to cancel the term, keep that accidental. I'm still in the home, so that on my annual review, I can call them back, or after they've canceled it, say, hey, and they say, yeah, we've got to let it go right now. But now I know in a year to go back with their annual review, I've got a policy in the home. I'm still their connection anyhow. So that's why I do the accidental and the term both on a person. Initially, the second thing is it's just the right thing to do to someone, to be able to get them a 20-year-old that can have a 60-year-old $500,000 policy for $20 a month. Incredible that they can have $500,000 on their life guaranteed till they turn 81. And even if they wanted to do a return of premium, if you're 50 years and younger, they can get all their money back in putting that money out for an accidental. Just an incredible item that we should be adding to our sales. But I give them one price for the accidental, one price for the mortgage, and I do that right there in the home on my calculator on my phone. And each buy-in unit I see is $100. They're 40 years and younger, may be kind of tough to get to that $100 mark. But if they're 65 years old, I'm not trying to go for 20 years, probably looking at that 10-year term. And I'll still do the accidental. I'll come up with $100 for him, $75 for her, and I'll look at it and add the accidental face value with the term face value. They'll both together is more than their mortgage, more than twice their mortgage. Then I'll say, hey guys, that $175 a month gets you X amount of dollars of face value. You die, this is the monies that you will be able to bless your beneficiaries with. How does that monthly amount work in your budget? I shut up and I get an answer, and that's my entire presentation. Typically, I am done with that portion in about 30 to 35 minutes total. I'm in the home no more than 30 minutes, 35 minutes, gain rapport, got their medical financial, their medical history, now giving them price. I'm done. Now all I've got to do is write out the questionnaire. That shouldn't take you any more than 6 or 7 minutes. There's nothing to these applications, even though there may be 30 pages with Mutual of Omaha. Half of it you leave with the client. The other half, there's probably 5 signature pages on the Mutual of Omaha, 6 on the Phoenix, and on a lot of these pages, there's 3 questions for you to check mark. So very quick questionnaire. I never say we need now to fill out the application for the insurance carrier. I say, hey guys, all I need to do now is get some answers from you for this questionnaire I send into home office. Very nice and easy.
Do you bring your laptop?
Never. I would, or an iPad. Now you're getting closer to that briefcase, unless it's an iPad. If you want to do an electronic application with the client in the home, I'm still doing the web applications. But if you guys are heavy on the e-apps, absolutely, you could do that. Just keep it very, very simple. Don't try not to carry in the 16-inch wide briefcase. But if you've got like a little leather portfolio that you can slide a skinny laptop in there, you want to do the e-app, that is more than appropriate.
Okay.
I'm done at that point. I fill out the questionnaire. I don't even really look up at them when I say, here's a half a dozen pages that I have that I dog-eared or I've set aside if the application is not stapled together, and I set those papers in front of my person I'm trying to get protected, and I say, all I need is your okay on these lines here that I've checkmarked. I don't want you to autograph your signature so I can send it into the life insurance company. Again, I'm user friendly. I'm their next door neighbor. Hey guys, I just need you to okay here on these pages that I've earmarked for you. One of those is the electronic funds transfer. And the older the folks get, you know how it is. They may not be real excited about the EFT. So all I say is, guys, I don't collect any real money today. I don't want to carry any cash on me. I don't even want you to sign a check. All I need is a voided check, and that gives home office permission to send your bank a voucher once a month, and your bank will pay this when they get that voucher from home office. So all I need is that voided check. And then I'll go right back down to some paperwork. I make it as easy as a transaction as possible so that they feel nice and comfortable of giving me that voided check. My confirming the sale is once I've got everything done. I've got the ELF form that you want to make sure to get a list of folks. Won't go into that right now, but you want to be able to verify with them, hey, who would I contact, or who would contact me, expect to contact me upon your death. So I help Mary with your death process of getting insurance money to her instead of asking her to do it. That way I can get their permission to call their names on their list, send them a letter to verify that they've got this coverage for their family. Won't go into that now, but my confirm the sale is once I've got the ELF, once I have the application, once I have their voided check, I put their lead form on top of all of that and I push that pile back over to them. Guys, I had a 92% persistency, 92% placement and 86% persistency in this business last year. So about about 20 applications came off the books out of the 200. Actually, it was less than that, of the 200 that I put in place in the last 13 months. Whether persons had lost their job or they, for whatever reason, but if you've got a 70% and better, you're doing okay. 80%, you're doing more than okay. We all should have 90%. So I've got much more room for improvement, but this is a big reason why I had 86% persistencies, because I confirmed the sale. I pushed that pile of paperwork back over to them. I said, guys, I don't want to take this and submit it to home office unless you really tell me that this is the right thing to do. I confirmed that sale. People say you're giving it away. I say my persistency is better than 90% of the agents out there. So I confirm the sale. I make sure they tell me that, yes, this is the right thing to do. And I've had a few times where they come back and kind of give me that feeling of, hey, guys, I know it's the right thing to do, but I'm wondering from your reaction if this is the right price. Would you feel better if we lowered it a little bit? And that confirms the sale. My follow-through is within 48 hours. Every person I sell to gets a personal phone call from me or one of my assistants, and every one of them gets a signed postcard to say, hey, thank you, not thank you. Hey, it was wonderful meeting you and your family, and I'll do something personal. Good luck at John. I hope Johnny does great on his baseball game on Saturday. And I just signed Tim Lankford. I never thanked them for doing business with me, contrary to maybe some people's. They most of the time thank me profusely. I'm there providing a service that they need, and it just gives me the wrong feeling of, well, thank you for letting me sell to you. So I don't go down that road, but my follow through is consistent follow up, and the business will stay on the books.
You on your, and I think this is one of my persistency issues. So when you get to it, say that they choose da 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 da, and it's $111 total, right? Do you say, hey, how do you feel about 80, or is that what you're doing?
No, I write it up, and we feel good about that price after everything is done, and I slide that back over across to them. If I get any sort of feeling, and this happens face to face, and any sort of body movement, any sort of inflection in their voice that I say, hey guys, spring break is coming up. I know you probably are going to be doing some things. Will this monthly amount hurt to the point where it's going to cause you to think about, was this the right thing? So I'm looking, and I know summer vacation's right around the corner. Is this the right amount for you? I'm getting them to buy in saying, yes, this was the right amount. So I'm not offering any price until I get back some feedback or their voice or their body, a body movement that says, ooh, I think I need to say, let's lower this to make this feel more comfortable.
You do that during
100%.
the fact before you fill out the applications, correct?
No, totally after everything. Applications filled out. I've got their voided check. I have the L form filled out. I have it in a pile sitting in front of me. I push that pile of paper where it's closer to them than it is me, so that they can take everything and say, you know what? And I've had a couple times, 7 years now, well, people were at that point, they still come back and say, this isn't the right thing. So I'd rather hear it there and work through it right there than I would them canceling on it a week later or a month later or 2 months later.
Do you, how often does the price change percentage-wise? Say 1 out of 10, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 10. What would you say?
Because I've done a pretty good job getting them in their comfort zone. I say probably 2 out of 30, maybe even 2 out of 40. So maybe, if we're looking at the high side, go ahead.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, just every once in a while. Doesn't happen very often because I am taking my time when I give them that price. And that's why I go in at 75%, so I can move up and down pretty easily. And when I give them that price for 75%, I explain it to, hey guys, most people don't try to do the whole mortgage, trying to give that dude a little bit of oh gosh, if I don't do the whole mortgage for 30 years, I'm going to look like a jerk. So I'm going to be the tough guy and I'm not going to do this right now. So I'm trying to ease into it. Hey, most people don't, the folks that I sit with don't try to cover the entire mortgage for the entire term. So I'm going to show you something where might be a good initial place to start. So I'm going to give you a quote for 75% of the mortgage. And let's take, maybe the initial step in creating a financial package for you, a financial portfolio for you. Let's look at maybe 10, 15, or 20 years. And then when we get that price, I just went back. Oh, I loved Marty. Marty's a 69-year-old gal who I started with my typical $100. She had a $160,000 mortgage. And so I went in and showed her for 10 years what $100,000 would be. And she looked at that and said, the price wasn't that big of a deal to her, but she said, why just 100,000? I said, well, Marty, like I said, not everybody, well, no, give me a price for the whole amount. So I did, and I showed her, for $169, 169,000 for 10 years was $252. The reason why I remember that is because I had to go back and rewrite that a month later, because she thought about it some more, and she took the 10 years for $252, and she said, Tim, we need to talk about it. And we always get those calls of, oh, crud, this one's going to be a chargeback. Marty said, change my mind. I want the 15-year. So I went back and rewrote the application, and for $306 a month, this beautiful 69-year-old gal wanted to cover the whole mortgage, and she felt better about 15 years than 10 years. So that's happened more often than the ones that have pushed it back and said, I don't want. I probably have had, I can think of half a dozen, not quite that recently. It's been probably several months, a couple times in 2015, where I've gone back and they want more coverage before I ever even sit down with them at their annual review. Is this helpful?
Any other questions? Nothing? Okay, nothing? Looking for a positive response that you don't have any other questions for Tim before we let him go. All right.
This is all recorded so that we can watch it all again.
This part's recorded?
Yeah, phone call and all. There's a lot of information.
Can you send me that? I don't think so.
I've recorded this entire session. Both the PowerPoint and the audio will be available on our website. It will be available on YouTube, probably not until about the latter part of next week. But yeah, it'll be available for you.
This phone call will be available on YouTube?
Phone call and the PowerPoint.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Is there any, sorry to interrupt. Is there any way that you could send the PowerPoint just so we can kind of have that to go over maybe later today or tomorrow?
As soon as we get off the call, I'll send it over. Actually, we can do it while I'm on the call here. But yeah, as soon as we get going here, I'll send it over.
I'm going to make a proposal, and you can just listen. I'm going to propose that everybody here prepares their own sales kit with their script and everything going there. Tim, do you mind going to that website back to where you were at? It was actually the Gordon Marketing website.
I wanted to show you also, yeah, here's our website. You can go to the www.gordonmarketing. You've got the agent guide. I think I've given to you here. This is a final expense script. Let's see. One that I don't have on here that I'd want you to have is my in-home. Let's see. No, and we don't have that. So yeah, I'll go back and I'll send you guys over my in-home script, and then I don't have that up here, but the in-home script that goes over literally. Let's see if I pull that up. I wouldn't mind you seeing what that's going to look like. So, yes, all of us have nice icons. I heard that, Mr. Vern. But I've broken it down in so many bullet points, guys, trying to say, just don't be creative. I talk about, the bond and rapport, the love questions, finding the pain. There you go, guys. Every step with not only the recording, but don't tell Vern that he didn't do enough to help you get successful in this business, because he's providing you all of this, the in-home forms, the scripts, the leads. Guys, we're doing everything we can except go out and write the application, because we want you to write it to get paid. But if we need to write the application, we really expect to get paid instead of you. Is that fair?
Can you attach that? Is this 6 steps? Is that on the website, or can you?
It is not. That's the one I said I'll send out to you.
Cool. So we can. I think our next step is, I would like to everyone prepare it, and let's go through a role play practice this here, and then let's go through that a couple of times, and then we'll make our phone calls and set this stuff so we're ready to go. All right.
Saturdays are an awesome time to set appointments between 8 and noon to set them for Monday and Tuesday. I'm okay with going out to Tuesday on a Saturday, so it's not quite the 48 hours, but I almost discount Sunday as a off day. But I wouldn't set it beyond Tuesday from anybody that you call tomorrow morning, or call this evening to try to set up for tomorrow.
All right.
All right, guys.
Any other questions before we let Tim enjoy his Friday? Thanks, Tim. And we'll call if we have any questions, but I think that I recommend everybody be on that Tuesday morning phone call just to listen to this. We are now part of Tim's insurance flock.
Looking forward to it. Want to be able to use you guys sooner than later for my Friday call. Be able to have you on, and we're typically over 40, just like we were today, over 40 states represented on the call this morning of people just eager to try to duplicate results. Next week we've got Richard Reyes, who writes mortgage protection, also does some work in the federal benefit program, and he was over $300,000 last year. And in 2 more weeks, we've got Danielle Byrne, who is a stay-at-home mom. She writes mortgage protection 2 to 3 days a week. She has 2 young children. Her husband's a full-time Navy officer, and she made over $200,000 last year. So some incredible examples for you guys to be able to try to duplicate. Look forward to getting you guys on one of those calls.
All right. You and I have a couple of other things to talk about. Can we schedule right now? What does Monday look like? Monday morning.
Absolutely. Let's see. Let me go over to Monday.